Hey, good evening, good morning. Good evening this side, good morning on the other side. So excited to be out here today. Uh, you guys were you asked for this, and I said we're gonna make it happen. So you're gonna do me a big favor as you come in and join in. I want you to tag your friends, your circle, and let me know what city you guys are coming in, what country, what city. And I know sometimes we have a lot of people coming in from different parts. I can see you guys are joining in. So do me a favor. I want you to share and invite as many people as possible to be able to come in as I share on my end before I introduce my guests. So do me a favor, tag your friends, invite your friends. This is gonna be life transforming. So if you miss this ship, I don't know what's gonna happen with your love life. If you miss this ship, I don't know what's gonna happen. But this is just like the moment we've been waiting for. So I can see a lot of you guys are joining in. I want to see your comments. Type out what city, what country, and I want you to tag your friends to be part of our conversation today. And please pray for the internet not to misbehave because we want to flow today without trying to check the internet. So I know it's raining. So when it's raining, it's crazy. So guys, let's make sure that it stays steady as my name. So we want steady internet today. So share and invite as many people as possible to be part of our conversation. Don't just join in. I want to see those comments. I want you to let me know what city, your name, where you guys are joining in from as we get started. So as you're sharing, I am excited to be doing this stream with someone I believe has got gems. By the way, I'm always reading out your stuff. I'm always loving out your stuff because it just brings a lot of value, to me. So today we're talking about the one, and I have the one and only Miss Kiana Monroe, all the way from Cali. Welcome to Wakanda.
Thank you for having me.
so, so welcome, and it's great to have you here, Ms. Kiana. So, tell us about yourself. We just want to get to know you, and just welcome. This is family. So you're talking to your family. So tell us about yourself. What you do and what you're passionate about. Before we get to the
Okay.
meat
So
of the
thank
conversation.
yes, thank you so much for having me. Thank you. Hi, everybody from everywhere around the globe. My name is Kiana Monroe. I am a self-love coach. I am a counselor. And I work with people all over the world on unlearning behavioral habits of unworthiness and conditioned programming, right? From past experiences that don't support the love that you want in your life and who you want to be. I am certified in cognitive behavioral health, and I am a certified neuro linguistic programming practitioner. So I'm very focused on the mind and the mindset and how the mind works and how the heart works. I am originally born and raised in Los Angeles, right? And I am a mommy. I have an adult son. He's 19 now. Um, and I absolutely love working with men and women when it comes to knowing who you are, understanding your worth, loving and
Yeah.
validating yourself, right? And not looking outside of that, right? For validation, right? And becoming all the things that you are wishing to attract to yourself so that you can become better and project the love that you have for yourself in your relationships with your significant other or your children, your family, your friendships, and even the work relationships that you have.
Awesome. That's really beautiful. And I think when you talk about self-worth, I think it's something that you go into data. Why is that critical when it comes to relationships? As an expert and you've been in that space, why is that critical?
Why is worth critical?
Self-worth, self-love, self-love.
Self-love and self-worth is critical because here's the thing. You a lot of times when we're looking for relationships, a lot of people are looking for someone to fill a void. They're looking for someone to complete them. But what I say is take the time to love yourself. And here's the thing. I I took this story from the Bible, right? When Jesus said love your neighbor as you love yourself, the
Yeah.
focus is love yourself. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. You can only love another person as well as you love yourself. You can
Mm.
only give to the capacity of someone else what you give yourself, right? You project the love, the overspill of the love that you have for yourself should be benefiting other people. But if you are running on a half empty cup, then you're only offering half of the love. Does that make sense?
Definitely,
Yeah,
definitely, definitely.
yeah.
It's amazing. Yesterday, I actually shared a clip of the one that you did on Dear Future Wifey. I shared a clip yesterday, a bit of it,
Hmm.
and I think I love the part when when you spoke about just being whole as a person before you ask another person to be able to pour into you. Because
Hmm.
most people always feel like I am not going to be happy until somebody comes to pour into me. How does that mindset change?
Mm. So, what I try to tell a lot of clients that come in is, you are so focused on the absence of what you feel like you need and what you feel like you want. And it's really important to become the things that you are requiring from someone else,
Wow,
right?
wow,
So when you are moving in love, you are full of love, you are operating in love, then you attract the love at the level you're on, right? And then that
mm,
you're not asking somebody to fill your life. You're not asking somebody to make your world great. You're asking
wow.
someone to add additional value to the world and the love that you have created and built for yourself. And you teach people how to treat you by allowing them to watch you treat yourself in that way.
Wow. Nah, that's deep. I'm getting excited. I am I am loving this. So many people are not good to themselves, and yet they want somebody to be
Yeah.
good to them.
Yeah. My thing is, for me, if if I don't know how to operate in love and and show you how I love me, how do I expect someone else to know how to love me
Come
if I
on.
if I can't show it? You understand what I'm saying? There's so many people when I ask them, what is the experience of you?
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
don't always have an answer.
Tell me
What
about
is
that.
how do you if I asked you right now, how do you receive love? How do you know when you are operating in love? Would you have the answer for that?
Wow.
Most people do not. Surprisingly, they don't know how they receive love, and sometimes they can't recognize it when they're receiving it because they're not giving it to themselves consistently. And you can't expect somebody to give you something that you're not giving to yourself. That's what I believe. I can't go into a relationship and say, oh, I love to travel, and someone says, well, where have you traveled? And I say, nowhere. Yeah. No, nowhere. Does
So
that make
how do
sense?
you want to travel? You're gonna experience.
You have no experience, you know what I mean? And here's a big part of it. Understanding your love language, understanding what it is that you value, and you're operating and you're living life in what it is that you value. So let me give you an example for myself. I value love, right? And so I can express and I can explain the character breakdown of love. I believe that love is patient, love is kind, right? It's slow to anger, it's quick to forgive, it is grace, extended grace and compassion and understanding, right? And I operate in that. When I interact with people, they can confirm that I am a loving person, right? Because that is what I am projecting at all times. I'm consistently exercising compassion, understanding, kindness, right? So I am moving and operating in love. There is no absence of love from me. There is no absence of morale and principle and value.
Mm.
I am who I am, and you can recognize who I am because that is how I show up every day. So I can recognize when somebody is reflecting to me what I am to myself. It looks like a reflection in the mirror
Wow.
when engaging with somebody else.
This is deep. And we're just warm and we're just getting started, guys. We have
Yeah.
50 of you. We've got 50 of you. I want you to tag your friends. Let's take it higher. I know we are 50 right now, but I know we can bring in as many people as possible because a lot of people needs to get this. So before we go deep, I want to see you tag your friends. I want to see you guys. I can see your comments. I'm putting them on the screens. By the way, if you have any question, feel free to just put it across. As get into the middle of a conversation, we're gonna take those questions and just your contribution. I can see. Oh man, we got so many comments that I can take right now. Okay, so if don't take offense if I can't read all the comments. Please type them out, and I'll be able to work around. I know we have 50, right now, but I want you to share and invite as many people as possible. So I see Elijah, I see Linda, I see Fatima, I see Miss Claire. Welcome. Good to have you. Luca, what's happening? It's a good to see all of you guys. Veronica, what's up? Ruth, man, there's so many of you guys. So many of you. So many of you. So I really appreciate you guys just coming in. Hey, John, my usual. You never miss my broadcast. Good to have all of you guys. Kasonde, good to have all of you. Question, what's happening? Good to have all of you. Please, if we get into the middle of our conversation, don't feel like I'm ignoring all the comments that you're putting out across that side, because we just want to go deeper into the conversation. So today our conversation is about finding the one, Miss
Mhm.
Kiana. So what comes to your mind when we talk about finding the one? And I'm glad you laid the foundation. Maybe just to be quick, is that the reason why most people don't find the one, because they have not found themselves?
That's absolutely for a while. Because you definitely, that's exactly it. They don't know themselves. So if you don't know what love feels like, how can you recognize it when you're out there looking for it? You know, that's really, really important.
So I
And a
think,
lot, and
can,
it
can you guys hear
requires,
me? I know it's breaking a bit on this side. Can you guys hear me? I
uh-oh,
just missed it. I think it was breaking a bit, so I missed what you
uh-oh.
said. Yeah. Can you guys please type a one if you can hear me? Type a one if you can hear Miss Kiana on the other side. Can you
Yeah, I
can you
could
guys
definitely
hear me? Yeah. So I think it was breaking a bit. I didn't get your response. Can
um
you?
so what I said was
It's clear now.
okay. So
Yeah.
when it comes to finding the one, a lot of people haven't taken the time to necessarily find themselves, right?
Mm,
And when you are out dating, sometimes when I'm talking to people, I'm saying, how do you date yourself? You know,
wow.
how are you dating yourself? Do you know what you like? Do you know what you want? Do you know what you need? What One thing I always ask myself is what is the experience of loving me feels like, right? For
Mm,
me, I love romance. So I always buy myself flowers, right? I treat myself, I compliment myself, I celebrate myself, I encourage myself. Those things are love languages to me. Those are the things that I give myself, and those are the things that I actually require from someone else. So I am actively participating in my own love language versus actively participating in my own pain by waiting for somebody to give something to me that I'm not really giving to myself. And I can acknowledge that I'm not looking for someone to make me a whole person. And
mm,
when dating, when dating and you're out there and you're looking for someone, what exactly are you looking for? Are you on the journey? Are you looking for your purpose partner? Are you looking
Yeah.
for someone to do this thing called life with? It's a journey. There's ups and downs. And one thing I always try to introduce to people is when you meet someone, you are meeting someone in a season of their life, right?
Mm.
And it's really important to, I encourage healthy dialogue and emotional, intellectual conversations, meaning ask questions like, are you emotionally stable? Are you
Wow.
emotionally available right now? And then find out if they're emotionally intelligent. So on top of me teaching neurolinguistic programming, I teach extensively on emotional intelligence, right? That is
Wow.
really discussing empathy, really discussing the value of relationships that you have, really diving into self-awareness. A lot of people are not aware of themselves, and nobody is going to introduce you to yourself better than you,
Mm.
if that makes sense.
Wow, that's correct. And I think one of the things that I keep hearing you say is it's like the mirror is back to you, which I
Mhm.
strongly feel that a lot of people don't love to do. I would rather ignore how I treat myself and hoping that I could find somebody that would treat me right when I've not done the work to be able to focus on myself, to be able, like, I love romance, I love all these things, I love flowers.
Mhm.
I'm running away from doing that for myself, and I am hoping the other person is going to be able to do it for me. And I guess that's why a lot of times relationships are a challenge, because people are always thinking it's on the other side,
Right.
of what the other person is going to do. So why do people run away from doing the work it requires to love themselves right before the one shows up in the picture?
I think a lot of people are comfortable and content with what's familiar, even though what is familiar is unhealthy, right? You
Mm.
there are some habits that we have that are not conducive to the life that we want. And sometimes it requires work, and sometimes the work is uncomfortable. Growing up, some things that worked for my great grandparents and my grandparents don't work for who I am in this present day and age and for the marriage I want to have, right? So I
Wow.
have to do a lot of digging. I have to do a lot of healing work. I have to do a lot of unlearning. And
Mm.
there are so many people who would rather put a band-aid on that with the relationship versus to take the time to do the uncomfortable work, the sitting in the discomfort of healing, knowing that if you do, and we're always healing. It's not to say that you have to be perfect before going out and having a relationship, but
Yeah.
you need to at least be able to know your love language, know what kind of relationship it is that you want, know what type of value that you're adding, know what type of value that you're requiring, and have the ability when it comes to dating. I did a show with someone, and I really pushed respecting and understanding people's capacity to love, right? Without making them feel bad. When meeting someone in a season of their life, you have met them to the capacity of where they've done their inner work. And it doesn't
Mm.
need to find out if who you're meeting in the season of their life, and vice versa, right? But when you're meeting someone, is their love language and their capacity what it is that you need? If not, it's okay to release them with love and move on.
Come on, talk about that. So I'm gonna ask. Look, I think, Miss Kiana, you're getting a lot of love. People are excited about
Okay.
this.
Okay.
Now, you are too fast for me because you're throwing so many things. I am just like, I just feel like I want to move out of your way and let you teach this thing. And guys, help me. Like, I'm trying to ask you a question, and you've gone to the next point, and I have another question. So, guys, do me a favor. As she's doing what she's doing, I want you to type it in the comment to help me keep track, because I'm holding on to the fourth thing. The fifth thing has come out, and I've lost the fourth thing that I had. So, do me a favor. Please type in the key things that you're hearing so that I can put them on the screen and I can put it back to her so that she can read it out to to me. So here's one thing I'm going to do. We are talking about finding the one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to ask you questions. I want you to flow because I know you're flowing.
Mm-hmm.
So you are addressing men and you're addressing women. I'm just going to be out of here and get blessed too. So, the topic is finding the one. Speak to the men, speak to the women. How does that journey happen? Let me let you flow because this is too deep and I just want to sit back.
Okay. Okay. So when you're out and you're dating, number one, the first thing I would say is write down what it is that you value. Right? This is for men and women. What do you value? Right? What are your love languages? How do you receive love? Because it's really important that you have clear direction and navigation to someone coming into your heart. If you don't know how to guide someone to the center of your heart, and they don't know how to guide you to the center of theirs, then you are going to be running throughout each other's lives in chaos with no clear destination. And it's really, really important that if the end result is commitment and doing this purpose together and doing life together, that you understand one another. There is no rush to get to the altar. There needs to be willingness to take the time to communicate, to
Mm,
understand who it is that you're dating.
mm,
Understand who it is that you're trying to spend your life with. Allow them to understand who you are, right? Be able to communicate effectively your non negotiables, your wants, your needs, your desires, you know? And you don't have to have exact value, but there should be some similarities when it comes to the direction that both people are trying to go in. Have these conversations. This is the whole point and purpose of dating, right? It's to have these conversations. You want to date intentionally because you don't want to waste your time and you don't want to waste someone else's time. And you also, when you know what you value, right? I use this terminology a lot. I talk about, the colored crayons in a box, right? So let me give you an example. For me, if I
mm.
am, say, a red crayon, I've done my work. I understand that I am a red crayon, and I recognize that I desire purple love, right? So, because I'm aware of that and I know that purple love is what I need, then in no way, shape, or form am I going to go out and date an orange crayon or a yellow
Wow.
crayon. I am intentionally looking for a blue crayon because I know that I am a red crayon looking for a blue crayon because I desire purple love. And when I hold on, if I date someone and I think he's great on the outside, on the surface, but I'm looking at it and I can tell this is an orange crayon. He's attractive.
Mm,
He looks great on paper, but he's an
yeah.
orange crayon, right? One thing we don't want to do is we don't want to emasculate, we don't want to devalue the person that we're dating, right? Because who you're dating, that if they're not your person, they're someone else's person. So you want
Come
to you
on.
want to respect
Talk
and
about that.
honor.
Talk about that.
Do you understand? You want to respect and you want to honor someone else's spouse if it's not your own, and you set them free so that they can be found by the right person. I acknowledge that I'm dating an orange crayon. So I'm not going to hold on to you just because you look good on paper, because I'll never get the purple love that I know is best for me. And
Mm.
sometimes when we're dating, we'll be so focused on the exterior and so focused that, there are a couple of key things that might look good on paper, but overall, they are not going to give you the type of love that you deserve. And it's really important when you're out looking for a purpose partner. When you're doing God's work and the purpose for your life, you're doing it side by side with someone that is going to grow with you and you're going to evolve with time. That's why I said you're meeting someone in seasons. So you're also looking for somebody that you can grow with, someone that is okay with consistent communication and understanding
Mm.
this is how she loves, this is how he loves. I want to support the evolution of who he is. I want to consistently add value to his life. I want to consistently pour into him because he's consistently pouring into me. We understand each other's love language. We're constantly pouring into one another. But he also, and she also, can respect and value the fact that I'm consistently pouring into myself and they
Mm.
are benefiting from the overspill of that love. Does that make sense?
Wow. 100%. Wow. Man, this is so great. And I know I have. Are you able to see the comments when I put them on the screen?
I am. I see someone's comment that says self-love and self-worth is important. And it is important because here's the thing. If you don't believe that you are worthy of the purple love that you desire, you're going to constantly attract every other color in the box that is not good for you. And you're never going to speak up for yourself and ask for what you believe you deserve until you confirm you deserve it and you know it without a shadow of a doubt. God gives you the desires of your heart. You have to know what you desire and align with that. And as you live your life, as you live your life, we don't put our life on pause and wait for somebody to come into it, right? You want to live in love, and then you want someone to meet you where you are.
Wow. Now, can I take you back? I'm gonna put a
Yes,
comment. Someone put a comment on. Let me find this comment because I think I
yes.
wanted you to just go. Yeah, this is what somebody. When I heard you say that, that was really powerful. So I'll take you back. Kasonde said, "I love the point of learning how to release with love and continue on our self-discovery journey." You spoke about
Mhm,
releasing. You know,
mhm.
could you just break it down a bit on that one?
So when I say releasing people with love, I think that just because it's okay to be cordial with people when it doesn't work out for you, right? At the end of the day, we are supposed to again love our neighbor as we love ourselves. And I can love you in a wholesome way without you having to necessarily be my person. I don't have to disrespect you. I don't have to devalue you. If I'm a loving person, right? I wouldn't, for example, if I had a best friend, I wouldn't disrespect someone that she's in a relationship with. He's not my person. He's her person, right? But he's still worthy of love and respect, right? Just because he's not my person. And that is kind of how we should treat one another as we're going through this
Yeah.
dating process. It's really getting to know people in your life and not holding a grudge, not holding any bitterness because they didn't arise to whatever expectation you may have put on them in the beginning. That's unfair. That's unfair to do to anyone.
Wow.
Mhm.
That's amazing. So now the conversation started when I posted something. A young lady sent me a message, and said, "Please, can you speak to women about finding the one? What are some of the
Mhm.
key things that a woman must be able to look out for when they're picking a man?"
Really? Okay, so for myself, um understanding what it is that what you want, understanding what it is that you deserve, and understanding
Yeah.
what it is that you desire, right? You are going into dating, like I said before, with intentions and knowing what your intentions are and going into it being honest, being forthcoming, being authentic with who you are, not hiding who you are, and not going into dating on the, pick me. It's going into dating and interacting with someone saying, what this is how I add value, and knowing what it is that you're bringing to the table as well. Sometimes
Yeah.
I did a post recently on, you know, knowing what it is, women not necessarily needing a man and men not necessarily needing a woman to fulfill them, right?
Yeah.
But to desire one another, to want one another, and to desire and want what the value that the other person brings into the other's life, which is
Yeah.
extremely important. When when you're out, right, and you meet someone, what type of conversations are you having? Are you just looking at their appearance? I mean, that's great. You want to be attracted to the other person, right? But when you're
Yeah.
marrying someone, you are marrying their heart. You are marrying their mindset. You're not just marrying the physical appearance, because that changes,
Wow.
right? You and that's really important, because their mindset and their heart and their spirits and their intentions, that's what they're going to project on you. That's where their choices stem from. That's where their decision making when it comes to you comes from. I am looking for a leader. I would love a provider. I would want someone who knows how to communicate. Uh-oh, I think we lost him. Let's wait for him to pop in. Uh-oh. I'm gonna wait for him to pop back in. I think he popped out. So we'll pop back in. I'm gonna read some of the comments. Is there time when it's too late to find love again? There's absolutely no such thing as there being too late to find love. Number one, you are love, right? And so what you are looking for is consistently looking for you as well. You got
Watch.
kicked out of the you got kicked out of the chat. I put it on pause for a bit. I didn't want to give too much. I put it on pause. I said, hold on, let's wait for him to come back in.
I'm back. I'm back. I
So
think my internet is my internet has really been unfair on me, but just flow. I'm out here just enjoying myself.
right. Someone says, true, I fall in love with the mind and the character. Um, Not always the outward appearance. Right. Because you're not gonna look at 62 what you looked like at 22. Let's just be
True.
honest with that, right? That's the outer appearance. But here's another thing too. As we grow and we evolve, our behavior patterns change, our mindsets change, but your values are concrete, right?
Now
If
talk about that. Talk about that. Talk about that. I think
you're
that's critical because I think yeah.
because you think,
I think a lot of times people usually justify that they are changing so they can do whatever they do. But the aspect would you say that your values stay the same? How does that work out as a relationship?
if your core values, right? Like I said, mine is love. Mine is success too, right? And purpose. Be successful in my purpose. So I
Wow.
may change, maybe whatever career changes I decide to change. That's different than changing my values. I can work anywhere and bring my core values to wherever it is that I go. Do you know what I mean? If I'm
Yeah.
operating in what it is that I value, if I'm constantly operating in my purpose, it doesn't matter where in the world I go, I bring those values with me. Those things don't change, right? I may go from living in an apartment to living in a house. My values remain the same. I may, I'm become a mother. My values are still the same. I'm single. My values are what they are. And then when I become married, my values are what they are. And that's really important. And those are the type of questions that we need to ask when dating. What is it that you
Yeah.
value? What are
Wow.
your principles? What morals do you stand on? And understanding the value, that's the foundation you build on.
Wow. This is key. There's a question from Kasonde. He says, I'm gonna put it out on the screen. What's a right season to meet someone, or vice versa?
When it comes to season, that can be difficult because you never know. Everybody is in a different season of their life right now. The
Hmm.
best thing you can do is be able to ask the right questions. Be willing to ask the right questions. Be willing to ask questions. If I have no problem with asking somebody, have you gone to therapy? Have you
Hmm.
have you been to therapy? You know, um, what core values do you believe in? How do you receive love? How would you like to be loved? These are important. That lets me know if someone doesn't have an answer to that, I know that I am meeting them in a season of their life where they have not done enough. You know what I mean? I have to be intelligent within myself to know, you know what, they don't have an answer. They can't tell me how they receive love. So they can't tell me how they want to be treated. And I can give them grace and I can give them time and try to watch and see. But if you don't love you, and if you
Hmm.
don't know how to tell me how you receive love, that means I've met you in a season of your life where you still need to do work. And so I am going to now release you with love and allow you to do your inner work so that you can become a great man for a woman that you're going to meet when it's her time and it's your time. That means you're not my person right now. And it's not a bad thing. There's your release with love. That is your step right there. That's what it looks like.
Kiana, I'm loving this, and I know I have some interesting questions, but I know you spoke to the women. Speak to the men. What do they need to look out for when they are picking a potential wifey or a potential person that they want to spend the rest of their lives with? Before I get to your questions, I see all your comments. I'm missing some of them because there are a lot. So, there's one already on the screen, but we're gonna go straight to that one. But I know you spoke to the women, and this is something that I really, why I love so hard, and I'm very excited, is because you spoke about you must be intelligent enough to be able to read a man's season. And I feel as a coach, in this part of the world in Africa, I see a
Mhm,
lot of women that don't invest time to be able to read men.
mhm.
You know, not so. Maybe before we go to the men, how does a woman develop her capacity to be able to read a man, to be able to be intelligent enough to be able to say this could be my person, or they're not in the season for me to be able to work around? How do they read deep into a man to be able to see whether this is the man or this is not? Because a
So,
lot of people miss it. Yeah.
so when you say how do women read a man, what do you mean by necessarily reading a man? Do you meaning being able to pay attention to the actions?
I think it's about decoding. How does a woman decode? Maybe that would be the right way to be able to say, how do you decode to be able to see if he's not able to communicate with you, how do you decode by yourself to be able to know that he's not in the season to give me the type of love that I'm looking for, and without taking offense?
Well, the best thing you can do is make sure you know yourself, right? Because if you don't know yourself, you will get lost in the sea of his toxicity, right? That's one. especially if he is unaware of his own self, then you will mold to whatever way he shapes you, right? And that may not be who you want to grow to be in your marriage. Moving forward, when it comes to reading someone, I say pay attention. Pay attention. Sometimes we can get so lost in the outer appearance, right? And sometimes we can get so lost in the rush of getting to the altar that we are not looking at what is, on the aisle on the way to the altar. And I'll break that down as paying attention to someone's actions. This goes for both men and women, but especially for women. If a man is telling you that, he's a duck, he should be walking like a duck, quacking like a duck, waddling like a duck, sounding like a duck. Your actions have to support your words. And be calm enough and sure enough in yourself to be able to pay attention to that. And when you have acknowledged that the actions are different, be confident enough to say, I noticed that you said, you're the type of person that is a provider, but I noticed that you're not providing. Your actions are not aligning and matching up with
Wow.
words, and to say something about that, right? And to allow him space to say, I didn't know I was showing you that. Let me try it a different way. Sometimes, and this is why I think it's really important to know how you want to receive love, because if somebody is loving you in a way that you don't receive it, you have to be able to speak up for yourself and say, I don't receive love like that. This is how I receive love like that. Are you capable of loving me the way I receive? Because, and this goes for both men and women, okay? It's really important that you are dating somebody with the intention to love them the way they receive it, not love them the way your past relationships.
Come on, somebody, put an amen in the chats.
Does that make sense? I cannot love you the way I loved my ex. You may not receive love that way. And I can't be upset with you because you vocalized that to me. I either need to step up to the plate and love you properly, or release you to a man that will love you the way you asked, and vice versa.
Whew. Come on. Tonight, Wakanda is getting a PhD in love. I'll tell you one of the things, Kiana. I'll say something to you. One thing that I've been very intentional about is I really know how I receive love. And I mean, you may be beautiful, you may be amazing, but if you're not loving me and bringing it out the way I receive it, I don't need it. You cannot convince me that's how I must be loved. I have a problem with that. I have a problem, and I'm sure you guys now are understanding that I am not crazy. The things I always speak about, these things exist. People are having conversations. And this is why I always say there's a lot of things in our culture that hasn't been done the right way. So as you're listening to this wisdom, I mean, God opens opportunities. God brings people to be able to have conversations. Is your heart, is your mind open to be able to take in this? And I'm glad you also spoke about how our grandparents, our great-grandparents, and our parents, did relationship. It's not the same way we're doing relationships. And I feel a lot of you guys, a lot of you, my village people out here in Africa, I kind of feel like that's one thing that you have not broken. As the wisdom is coming in, as Ms. Kiana is sharing this wisdom, is your heart, is your mind open enough for you to be able to say, I am willing to step up? And me listening to, and I'm sure for you now, you're saying, oh, now I get it why Coach Steady says what he says and why he teaches these things. And I know, because in our circles, in this part of the world, a lot of people are not having this conversation. You meet male, female, let's just do it, baby. So you're not taking the time to be able to do an analysis. Is this how I want to receive love? I mean, actually, I take offense. Maybe I need to heal. If somebody wants to force me to receive love, the way I don't want to get it, I have a problem. I don't receive it that way. And people take offense that you hold them accountable for how you want to be able to receive the love that you desire. People want to
Yes.
love you how they want to love you. I have a problem. You can't love me
Yes.
how you want to love me. This
Right.
is a standard that I have set. So
Right.
if you're going to pour into me, and I am also willing to go an extra mile, to be
Willing.
able to
Yep.
pour into you how you want to receive love.
Yep.
So I'm not coming with an agenda. This is how I was taught a woman must be loved. No. How do you want to receive love? How can I
Mhm.
serve you? How can I love you better? How can I
Yes.
pour into you?
Yes.
So I'm not coming with my African mindset, my African ego, where we've been put on the pedestal. But how
Hmm.
can I love you? How can I save you? How can I pour into you? This is so
Hmm.
deep. Now talk to the men. Talk to the
Yes.
brothers.
So
Talk
I
to the brothers.
have I see two questions in here that I wanted to address.
Okay.
So one was how so one on here is love built, or does it just come at first sight? I think love is recognized, right?
Come on. Talk
And
about that.
I think love is recognized, and it should be, if love is something that you value, then it should be something that you identify with.
Yeah.
And you should be able to recognize it because it is familiar. So, for example, we all know what the smell of breakfast is. We recognize, like, we love breakfast, or certain types of, a feeling. We know what it feels like, um to be cared for. There's something that's familiar. So when you recognize something that's familiar, you're able to identify it because that is something that you are used to. It's something that you are accustomed to. If you are not accustomed to giving yourself love, how do you recognize it in someone else? How do you identify it in someone else? I can tell when someone doesn't love themselves by the way they speak about themselves, by the
Wow.
way that they care for
Hmm.
themselves and how they treat themselves. Do you encourage yourself? Do you take care of you? Do you pay attention to your wants and needs? How do you treat you? Because how you treat you is how you're going to treat me. So I pay attention to that. Right. And someone else made a comment and said, how do you talk to somebody about the way you want to receive love?
Yeah, I saw that.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so one thing I always say, I like to say that safety is a primary emotion. Love is a secondary emotion. And I say this to say is it's really important that when dating someone or in a relationship with someone, that you experience safety. So I would say love requires respect. Respect requires trust. Trust requires safety. And I'm going to backtrack on how that works. In order for me to be honest and vulnerable, vulnerability is required in a relationship to make it work. I have
Yeah.
to feel vulnerable enough to talk to you. I have to feel vulnerable enough to share with you and be open and be truthful, right? There can be no fear of condemnation. There can be no fear of harsh judgment when I open up myself to you. I have to feel safe enough to bring myself to you and all that I am. When I feel safe, then I can communicate without fear. Then I can be vulnerable. Now I trust you. You have created a safe space. And sometimes we don't offer a safe space for people to come to us as they are. We have
Mm.
all of these guards and all of these expectations, and people feel like I can't be myself with you. I can't share who I am with you. And so you can almost scare somebody off with that guard or that heaviness, right? And it requires compassion. It's moving in love. It's moving and operating in a level of compassion, because you are dating someone that you would potentially want to spend your life with, right? So creating a safe space for them to be themselves and say what they need to say and be vulnerable. Now they have created trust. Now there's a bond. Now you're building a relationship with safety and trust. Now that I feel safe with you and I trust you, I can respect someone that will allow me to be myself. I can respect someone that I can trust. And now that I have all of these other things, I can love you. I can really offer my love to you. So that's the first thing. When you want to express how you receive love, find out, is it a safe space for you to express yourself authentically? Can you be vulnerable with the person that you're talking to? Don't expect it to happen right away, right? But that's what these compassionate conversations, compassionate communication, be willing to understand who it is that you're talking to, right? What do they experience? What shaped their personality? What shaped their mindset? What shaped their heart to be who it is that they have presented to you right now? And is this somebody that you can grow with and love on
Mm.
and be loved by?
Wow.
I know that was a lot.
I'm loving it.
Save the
So
video.
I get, this is not a video you watch once and walk away. You watch it, rewatch it, rewatch it over and over to be able to glean from the wisdom that is coming out. Now, I want you to speak to the men before we land. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, I want you to type it out. So, the moment she's done, so maybe what we're going to do is that we're going to save all the questions now until the end. So, when you speak to the brothers, what to look for when they in the one, how do you pick a woman? You're a woman, so you definitely can help the brothers out here to be able to understand. And here's one thing, I'll tell you one thing. As you were speaking, I got lost because these conversations are tough on this end. And I know some of you women are listening to her speak and saying, oh, but our African men are not like that. And you have some of the African men right here in this space and listening to this conversation. So it means that, look, if you want to experience the beauty of what we're talking about today, is you have to level up. You have to decide, and it's gonna be painful. You have to walk away from what your forefathers taught you to be able to create this path. And I must admit, for the last 7 years of my life, I picked this path and I have no regrets. There's a lot of things that I had to drop down from my culture, and it's not easy because people feel like you're turning back, you're not loyal, you are walking away from what you grew up with. So what's the point of carrying everything that I grew on that is not even adding value to my life? And that's a challenge I'm putting across. It means that our conversations have to get to this level, because I can relate, because I know some of you women right now, your mind is just racing because you're thinking, wow, Kiana, that sounds good. But do you know the men in my space? Do you know the men in my circle? Do you know the men that I'm dealing with?
Maybe I actually dated someone I went to college with, and he's from Rwanda, and he's now like one of my closest friends. And it just so happened that he moved to a different state, and we both couldn't do long distance, right? So we
Yeah.
released each other with love. and and then another really, really good friend of mine who I talk to pretty often, his name is Dr. Edwards, from Nigeria. Such a sweet, sweet, gentle soul and a sweet person. Um, I think that when it comes to speaking to men, when looking for a wife, right, look for the softer side of who you are. right? So number one, you have to know who you are. And you have to know what, like I said, what it is that you value. And you look for a wife that adds value and has a balance of softness and strength, because she pours into you in areas when you need it the most. And she can be
Mm.
both. And she recognizes how to pour into your life. She recognizes how to be a mother without trying to be your mother. She recognizes
Mm.
how to lead in the marriage without trying to lead you, right? She understands what is required as a whole, as you move into purpose for both of your lives, right? So you have to be just as important as it is for women to ask the right questions. It's important for men to ask women, what is it that they value? What is it that you want out of life? You know, and then be able to express, men, be able to express your needs, and and be okay wanting what you want and knowing what you need and asking for it, right? And be willing to receive. Sometimes in relationships, it's not always easy for us to receive. Understand that you are worthy of what it is that you ask for, and worthy of what it is that you desire and what you want, and that a woman is capable of bringing it to you, right?
Mm.
And so there's there's a key understanding in that. You are not looking for your mother in your wife, in your potential wife. You are understanding and you are looking for the woman who she is and what she's bringing to your life, and how she's going to be a mother to your children, and how she is going to support and be a partner, not be behind you, but walk alongside of you. Who do you want to hold your hand on this journey of life? And what do you want that to look like? Does that make sense?
Wow. All right, guys, we got a few minutes to wind up. It's gonna be it's already 21, but we can
Oh,
take quick we can take in quick questions before we wind up. So if you have any questions, I'm just going through the comments right now. So if you have any question, this is a moment for you to be able to ask your question. And I just want you to be as open as you can get,
mhm.
for all the questions. So I'm just going through the comments section just to, wow, the too many, I missed a lot of these comments. How do I go? Too much that I can, wow. Sorry, I mean, there's too many of them. I'm trying to scroll back to see which ones I can pick. Oh, let me see. Let me see which ones I can pick. So if I've missed your
Okay.
question, please put it out there, and then we can just look at it, and then we can. Okay, we dealt with that one. That was a great question, because I think a lot of people are not in a good space to.
Someone says,
Okay,
what
so
makes love fade away?
okay, and then I put one on there. Oh, okay. So there's another one. There's another one on the screen. How can you release someone with love when you're already attached to them, but in the process you feel like the person still in the season of finding themselves?
You
They
don't know.
don't really know what they want and how they want to be loved. Hence, they don't really appreciate the love and the effort you're giving them. Was that clear, Miss Kiana?
That's very clear. How can you relate? So the question I'm going to ask you is, why do you allow yourself to consistently be treated in a way that doesn't support your love language? People only treat you to the capacity of what you allow, right? And if you have extended grace and if you have offered compassion, why are you attached to a love that is not serving you? What is it? Are you afraid that if you let this person go and you detach yourself from them, that what you want will not come to you, will not find you? Do you feel as though you are not aligned with the love that you feel you deserve? Because a lot of times we have to understand that we are responsible for our own hearts, right? I am responsible for my heart. And if I extend that to someone and I recognize that they mishandle my heart and that they mistreat my love or that they don't appreciate it, and they treat me poorly, then the question is, what is making me stay with someone that mistreats the love that I'm offering? Right? God would not want me to be in that. We evolve, right? You evolve and you mature, but that's where the communication comes from, right? You may love me a little bit different, but you will not love me less. You
You
understand what I'm
may
saying?
love me a little bit different, but you will not love me less.
Yeah. Yeah. When you are loving me less than how I love myself and what I believe that I deserve, then the problem is not with you, because you are only doing to me what I'm allowing you to do to me,
Ooh, that's so powerful.
right? You have shown me that you have reached the capacity. You do not know how to love me the way I deserve. Why would I stay? Why would I continue
Mm.
to date someone that way? And if you're in a if you're in a
Whew.
committed relationship and you've been in there for a long time, and I've worked with married couples, right? And they feel like they have fallen out of love or they have outgrown out of love. They are not communicating. They are not growing in love with one another. And I usually find out there is one person who is unwilling to put in the effort. There's someone who is
Mm.
unwilling to evolve and continue to grow. They want to remain stagnant, right? So they are very stubborn with with the growth. How do you
Mm.
can't, that never works. That never works.
And
Does that make sense?
it makes us sense because that comment is practically who I was years ago.
Mm,
You know,
mm,
and I
mhm.
want to speak to you from a man, and I want to speak to the men
Okay.
because reading that comment, that's exactly who I used to be many years ago. You know, and
Mhm.
until I came face to face with, healthy love, until I did the work on myself, I healed. I actually tell people, like, I had such toxic loyalty. I was staying loyal to things that were killing me, to relationships, staying with people that because that's what happens when you're an empath, because you always want to see the best in people,
Mhm.
and you always want to believe that, hey, this person, if I love them a little bit extra, if I pour into them, then they're going to realize how much that I love, I love them, and then they'll look around. If people can't see it, and if they're not willing to get to a place where they say, you know what, this is not how I deserve to be loved,
Mhm.
and I am going to release you. I am going to let you go. I am going to release you. Because I think a lot of men, and I think for me, there's a lot of places that you need to heal as a man for you to be able to understand and process this conversation that we are having today. So
Mhm.
if you don't do the work on your heart as a man and just believe that you deserve a relationship, and I'm not saying be perfect, demand for perfection, I'm just simply saying find someone who's willing to love you at the level you desire to be loved.
Yes.
And you can't keep convincing. And one of the things I actually don't convince anybody. If you don't see it, you don't see it.
Mhm.
If I'm not going to stay here and say, look at me, I am awesome, I am a man. No, if you don't see it, you don't see it. I'm not just
Yeah.
going to sit here and stay waste all my life trying to convince you. And I remember when I started having this conversation, people judged. I remember one chick said to me, and she said, I know my weight type of guys. I says, yeah, I mean, I'm not even faking it. It's, you won't even make me feel guilty for desiring. So I mean, when you talk about loving me the way I desire, that's my job. So I
Mhm.
think from a brother to a brother, you need to heal. I personally, I don't know whether that term exists. I coined it myself. I said I had toxic loyalty because I stayed loyal to things that are dead, things that are gone. You know, I want to stay loyal even when you don't want to love me at the level, you know, and then get upset, when I volunteered to be to be abused, oh, she's not a good person. No, maybe you need to look inside yourself,
Mhm.
and say, maybe I am demanding to be loved at a place I don't need to be demanding, because the right person is going to be able to see this, and is going to be able to say, I want to love you, I want to bring this love at this level. So what you
Mhm.
said is very key. So I'm just coming straight to you, brother. So it's not an easy
Yeah.
journey,
Yeah.
but
It's
you
not.
have to make, you know, yeah, so
It's not. But
and I
then
think that's
you,
what we need to teach our young men.
yeah, I mean, and then you when someone when someone you can't be mad at somebody who who is giving you their very best. Just because their very best is not good enough for you, it doesn't mean that they're not giving their best. You're participating in your own pain when
Ooh,
you are
come on,
holding on
come
to
on.
someone who is showing you over and over and over that this is the best that I can give, right? And you don't like, and then you create space, you create a room for just respect, and to start treating each other out of malice and anger and bitterness when you really didn't have to. You could have let them go, or you could have removed yourself. That is the mature thing to do out of love for yourself. I love me enough that I'm going to remove me, and
Mm.
I will not allow you to hurt me, because I've recognized what this is, and I will call a spade, and I will remove myself from this situation so that I don't disrespect you. I can walk away without disrespecting myself. And men, I really want you guys to be able to recognize that, just as much as I want women to recognize that you deserve healthy love, just as much just as much as women deserve healthy love. And you have to want more and pay attention to more than what she is offering you in a bedroom. She's to be able
Mm.
to feed your mind and feed your heart,
Come on, somebody.
because as a leader, your greatness is going to benefit the entire family that you are creating.
Wow.
And what she is going to do, because you're pouring into her, the overspill of the pouring into yourself, she's going to benefit from that, and then she's going to respond to you and bring you honor.
Wow.
Mhm.
Whew. Let me
Charity
go.
said the smile on Coach D's face is fire.
These are the things I keep talking to these sisters. They don't get me. You see, I'm very easy. I'm not complicated. Let's just speak wisdom. I'll be happy. I'll be oozing happiness. It's easy.
Yeah.
I speak wisdom. So that's wisdom. Wisdom is my love language. If it's not there, I'm putting it out there. So anytime like I always say, every time I do a broadcast, I say, let's make wisdom sexy. And
Yeah.
that's a reason why, and that's why, so Charity, I had to put it out there. I'm glad you see me. I'm glad somebody's seen me out there. So hey, I'm excited. So, okay, question answered. Great. Okay, so if there's no questions, I'll let Miss Kiana let me just go through everything. Okay,
Mhm.
I'm glad you guys are getting all those things. You know, yeah. So
Mhm. These are some amazing comments. I believe people are getting it. I
yeah, and I
do.
am happy. And everyone that is on this broadcast, I'm watching you. I'm setting a standard high because I know we need to break the spirit of our ancestors. So we need to have conversations for relationships at a different level. So I
Mhm.
see all of you, I see all of you, and I'm glad you're getting all of these things. So you're not gonna bring average dudes in my office and say, "Coach, help me fix this." You're not gonna bring, you just gotta bring the best.
Yeah.
So let me see if I can get some of those things before I get. Let me see. Let me see. somebody somebody says this live has been saved and will later be downloaded.
Yes. Yes. I always say sometimes you learn more the second time you watch something.
Yeah,
I always watch things with pen and paper to take notes. Hmm. Applicable
it's true.
steps.
Yeah, that's a question for you. Can you see it from
Mhm.
Suilanji? It says he's
Okay.
waiting for someone to be in a season of love, the right thing to do. Do you understand?
Is waiting for someone to be in a season of love the right thing to do? It really depends on the kind of love that they're showing you, right? So a season of love could be a season of healing. And if someone is deep in depression, right? And that's the season that they're in, it's up to you to say, am I willing to wait for you? And sometimes let me say this. When dating, you want to marry your friend, right? So take your time and build a friendship. Build the friendship. And in the friendship that you're building, pay attention. You will know. People will show you who they are. It's up to you to believe them. If someone is showing you, this is the season that I'm in right now, I am ready for love, right? But they are showing you something completely opposite from that statement, then the responsibility is on you. It's really important to not put so much pressure on the other person, and that's the being responsible for ourselves, because we can only control ourselves, right? So going into that, you have to say, you're telling me you're in a season of love, but you're showing me something completely different, you know, because I'm responsible for my heart. Now I'm either going to stay and allow you to mistreat me, or I'm going to walk away until you grow.
Awesome. So Miss Kiana, let me know when you're. I mean, the day is out here, so let me know when you're ready to go because we didn't put a time to when we'll finish. So I don't want to hold you here because I have some questions. There's another question, but when you're ready to go, because I want you to wrap it up
Yes.
once we take this question. So whenever you want to check out, please let me know so that I
Okay.
don't keep you here long enough. But there's a question says how do you go about it when you recognize the one as a woman?
When you recognize the one in as a woman for a man, I would
Yeah.
think, right?
Maybe she's talking about can she shoot her shot?
Shoot your shot. I'm just because I'm thinking, like, when you recognize that you have
Yeah.
found your person, right? As a woman, when I feel like, okay, I think I've met my person, right? This is something that you should have a conversation with. This is the time to say, and this is where that safety comes in, right? Um, can I talk to you about the way that I feel? Can I talk to you about the direction I would like us to go? We've been dating for X amount of time. I love you. I love, who we are in the now. And it's
Mm.
important to, like, in the beginning, when I said date with intention, right? You know that if the intention down the road is marriage, right? When you start feeling like, okay, this is my person, it's time to start having these conversations of saying, I think I'm ready to settle down, right? This person has made you safe enough to feel like you can express yourself authentically and be vulnerable. It's a very vulnerable thing to tell someone, I'm ready for marriage. I'm ready for the next step with you. Right?
Wow.
Hmm.
Wow.
And it's okay as a woman to say that. It doesn't, I mean, sometimes they say, oh, we'll just wait on the man. The man can propose, but there's an extra security when a man knows you're ready because you've already expressed it. You're ready.
Come on, I like that. I like
Yeah,
that. Can you just
that's
take a
him
few minutes
himself.
to break
It's
down
time to
that?
buy the ring. She says she's ready. She knows I'm the one. It's time to go ring shopping.
Woo!
Mhm.
Brothers, are you listening out here? Where are the brothers?
Mhm. And the same thing for men. When you are dating a woman and your aha moment comes and you say, I think this is a woman that I can consistently grow with in life. I want to do this thing called life with her, right? Because life comes in waves and stages and ages. And you're going to do that with somebody. When you find that person that you want to do that with, it's okay if you've created a safety space with her to express that. Let her know I'm ready for the next step. She can either let you know I'm ready too, or I need a little bit more time, and that's okay.
Whew.
Hmm.
All right. So there are too many questions. So I don't know. I know a lot of you guys. I don't want you to feel like you're left out. How many more minutes do you
We
do
need
you
to do
have?
a part two. Maybe we need to do a part two.
Yeah, honestly, because I'm looking at the question and I feel guilty because I don't want to. So we're gonna work on a part two, guys, because
Yeah,
I don't want to pick some questions and leave out some questions. So what I
by
would do
all
is that
means.
I'll pick these questions and then we can put them in part two.
Hmm.
So this is just part one. You're wrapped for part one. But here's one
Hmm.
thing I want to say to you guys. A lot of you, in fact, when I put up the post, a lot of you said, Coach, we don't want just a single session. Um, we want many sessions. So I am trying to think because I'm trying to think if we could do a masterclass for 2022 so that we just don't cover one topic. We cover as many topics as possible. But what I'm asking, if we did that, are you willing to make an investment? You know, because I mean, if I say we're gonna do maybe one session every month or two sessions in a month, it means we are committing to do that. Are you willing to make the investment? Because it's gonna require time and make an investment. Because I strongly believe that I know, looking at all the messages that I get, uh, you know, uh, via email, on my WhatsApp, and all of those things, you definitely need a class. And if I can get 20 people that are saying, I am making a commitment to transform my love life in 2022, then I can put together, the people in Miskina, we could negotiate and speak to them, as long as you're willing to make an investment, because I'm not going to come out here and teach you for 12 months for free. You're going to make an investment. If you don't want to do it, no pressure, no pressure, no pressure. So, but I know you asked for it because there were a lot of comments, and I want to see a lot of men jumping on board, because I see a lot of women wanting to make an investment and men are just going to sit back and wait. So she's ready for me, but you're not ready for this woman. So I want to see a lot of men level up. I just don't want to see women in this class. I want to see men make a commitment. Because let me tell you something. I always tell people, if you dodge sessions like these or coaching programs to transform your life, you will go and pay a lawyer to help you get a divorce when you could have invested in yourself
Hmm.
to build. You know, so you need to be on the lookout. Some of you you'll be so frustrated with picking and staying with the wrong person that you'll spend more time at the pub. You don't even want to go to your own house, hard-earned house and home. If you did the work, you can smile back home to your purpose partner. You can smile back home to the man, to the woman that knows how to love you. So it's up to you. Do you want to go and pay a lawyer? Do you want to go and pay a brewery company out there? Because you don't want to, now you are so sick and tired. You don't want to go to therapy. So all you want to do is just drink your life away. It's your decision, one way or the other. You're going to pay something. But I am willing to pay for wisdom to become better so that I become better so that I could choose better.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's my word for you guys. Miss Kiana, your closing words. We're going to make a plan. We don't know when, but we'll try and talk so I could find out when she's available for us to work around. But if we do part 2, the rest of it is going to be in a masterclass. So you have to make a commitment. So if you want to be part of a masterclass, immediately we're done this, send me a message to say, I want to be part of that. And you will not regret, because this is proof that I will bring you people that will just bless you and take it to the next level. And I've always said to people, better grown old single than married wrong. Because once you get the wisdom, you get all the wisdom that is coming your way, you become a better person. So Miss Kiana, your closing words, and thank you so much. You've been amazing. You've been powerful. Your closing words is really.
Thank you. My closing words is I always say life matters, right? Loving yourself first matters. You have to make it matter to you. Your life has to matter to you before you think it can matter to somebody else. And what you pour into yourself is the most valuable thing that you can do, because the overspill is going to benefit not just you, but everyone that you meet in the future. And if you are looking for love, the first stop on your journey is your mirror. And that's what I'm going to leave you with.
And like I said to you, if I had a way, if I had the power to decide what the topic was going to be for tonight with you, with what I've seen and watched, it was going to be how to, just healing, becoming whole, self-love. But this was requested by everybody, so I didn't want to suppress. If I had a way, and I hope in one of the conversation I was going to talk about that, because I know how powerful that is. I know how that powerful is. But guys, we had to give you what you asked for, and this is it. We've done our part. If I had a way, I was going to switch topics to talk about self-love.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually a class it's a class that I teach. It's work. I've had a lot of clients say it's work, and it can be challenging work. But once you do the work on yourself, you literally take the blinders off that you didn't know was blocking your view to see what it is that you needed to see to attract what you desire. You have to do the work. And the thing is that I do a lot of hand holding. You don't do the work by yourself, but you have to do it. You have to be willing to do it. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Whew, this has been amazing. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you just investing your time in our, just to be able to add value to everyone that is out here. So to everyone that showed up. So thank you so much. I'll tell you the truth. I just feel like going on, but I know we gotta end. We gotta come to a close. Thank you so much. God bless you. Guys, thank you for showing up. You guys stayed consistent, all of you. Thank you for your comments. And please don't take offense that we didn't read out all these beautiful comments. I am definitely keeping them. I mean, look at, I kept looking at this, but this is a whole topic, so.
Self-love and value. Yeah, that's a whole class.
Yeah. So we're gonna come back to part 2. And then we're going to work around all of these things. So Ms. Kiana, thank you so much. And every one of you, thank you so much for joining in. God bless you. Have an amazing one.
Bye, everyone.